Good morning, Lord of Life, and I'm just so excited to bring another edition here of PD and Friends. I'm Grant Brockhouse. I'm the youth director here at Lord of Life, and I think you can already tell if you've watched these series in the past or had seen any of these videos in the past on our YouTube page that our production quality is already a little bit better right now, and that is all thanks to Raymond Bell, our new AV producer here at Lord of Life, and so we're so excited to be able to bring this production value as well as just bring another edition of this fun segment to you guys. And I'm coming to you today from our worship center here at Lord of Life and just thinking about our why and why we get out of bed in the morning, why we are motivated, why we want to do these things. And you might be wondering, why is this question popping into my head or why I want to talk about this today? It's because I have a 2-year-old who likes to say the word why. But when I think about this topic, I think about growing up and all these different things that I was trying to accomplish and do. And there'd be days where I wasn't motivated or I didn't want to get out of bed. And it's because I didn't really have a centered why. I really didn't know. My family would talk about our family values, which was like God, family, work. But the reality is that still wasn't the why. It wasn't what was motivating me to go forward. It wasn't what was motivating me to do something next. And so when I think about my why, it's been a lifelong journey of discovering. And I think we can have multiple whys. I saw this viral Instagram video a few weeks ago, and it prompted me to start thinking about this topic. And it was this husband who got up, and it was on his wedding day, and his wife already gave a little bit of the speech, but now it's his turn to talk. And he goes, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. For anybody who knows, I like to talk a lot, so I'm going to talk short, which sounds kind of familiar to me as well. But he basically said, you seek your whole life trying to find your why. They say the 2 most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you find your why. And he said, today I found my why. And I think about this moment and how cool it is when you think about finding your why. But at the same time, we can have multiple whys. We can have why we work, why we are doing the work that we do, why we get up and go to work. We also have our whys in our family lives, whether it's supporting loved ones, whether it's supporting a son or daughter, whether it's supporting our spouse. But we also can have our why just in our own personal lives as well. Why we are connected with God, why we have faith, why we are nice and genuine to people. But the why I want to talk about today is just my own personal journey and my own personal discovery with finding my why as a youth director. It had been a long time where I didn't really enjoy work. I wasn't enjoying the 8:30 to 5:30, whatever it was. And when I started working here at Lord of Life, I got to meet these kids and these youth. And I remember on our first mission trip together, I was angry. I was ready for it to be done and just to move on. And I just didn't understand what God was trying to bring me to. I really thought, maybe I can't do this. Maybe this isn't for me, because I was struggling and I didn't know how to connect to these kids. And then you fast forward to 2 years later, and we're on another mission trip with these same youth. And I bring them around in a circle, and we've done this a couple years. It's our 3rd year of doing it, and I'm telling all the kids why I thought God brought them on the mission trip, what I think God was trying to teach them and show them. And I see our youth crying, not because of their own message, but for one another. Because you saw what the relationship meant to each one of these people, what it meant to be a part of this group. And I remember I finished, was done talking, and then one of our juniors at the time got up and said, okay, now it's your turn. And it was the first time that they had sat me in the circle and told me why they thought God brought me on the trip. And that moment was so impactful and special to me. It was amazing to see that the kids were understanding what these trips were all about. And also just, I'm the type of person, I love words of affirmation. And to hear you're doing a good job or you're making an impact is really valuable, because sometimes it can be really thankless work. Sometimes it can be really hard. But in that moment, my why was so amazingly clear, and it was those youth kids. It was working here at Lord of Life. It was helping our youth grow into young men and women and watch them develop. And I've now graduated a class. Now I've seen these kids grow up, and it's truly amazing to watch them discover who they are, discover why they're motivated, discover why they go about things. And I challenge us all to find that why. I challenge us all to find why we're getting out of bed each day, why we are going to work that job that maybe we don't enjoy all the time, why we are coming home and spending time with our families, or why we are coming home to our homes. Because it matters. And when we are centered around our why, when we are centered around what makes this life so special, we act the way that we want to act. We do the things that we want to do. I think about when I come home and I see my boys and just the amazing journey it is to have two little kids, and Benton right now is just obsessed with cars because I think it's the first word he can finally say, and he says it exactly like this every time, a car. And he like moves his neck and elevates, but he says it constantly. I can't wait to see him at the car show here in a couple weeks with that. But when I think about why we do the things that we do, I challenge you to find that. Find that in Christ. Find that in what you are doing each and every day. Because we are called to this plan, this purpose, this path with God. And we're all living it out each and every day. So find what makes you get out of bed. Find what motivates you. Find what drives you forward. Because I can guarantee that's going to make you so much happier as you move forward. We look towards all these things in the world, and there's so much on social media, so much around us that are telling us that we're quite frankly not good enough, or we're not doing the right things. But the reality is what you are doing, what God is calling you to do, is good enough. You have a specific purpose. You have a specific path. You have these amazing gifts and abilities. Whether you think it or not, you do. And God is calling you to use those by finding your why. So I challenge you, Lord of Life. I challenge you, anybody who's watching in the community, discover your why. Think about what motivates you. Why do you want to be the person that you are? Thank you for another edition of PD and Friends. Thank you for taking the time to watch this today, and we're just so excited to bring this segment back and just continue to share with this community that we love so much. Thank you.